Just so we're all on the same page before this starts, I'm just a curious noob with UE5 and terrible impulse control. I mean, I saw blueprints in node management and thought, yeah, I could totally do this, just watch a tutorial, plug in some variables, and voila! Yeah, so that hour and 48-minute tutorial that I watched with the assumption I could do this in a couple of hours turned into a 10-hour-long suffering session with a lot of...
And it's supposed to just work. It is going to generate... What the f...
And then I decided to hit record to document some progress. So if I sounded tired or even mildly broken, that's 100% accurate. 'Cause I was. Welcome to CrashLog Chronicles.
I wanted to try and tackle a thought, if you will. And the thought was, how difficult would it be to build a randomly generated map? And like, this is the beginning. This is only day one of effort, if you will. It took like maybe 10 hours to do an hour and 40-minute tutorial. Mainly because I don't fully understand how all of this works. Like, I kind of get the gist of it. The node system works and how I'm pulling from different, I don't know if I would call it repositories, different file folders to go ahead and grab information and models to then combine everything. Like, yeah, sure, I followed the tutorial and I kind of understand what's going on. It's not like I fully understand everything. Like, yes, this works. It's probably not the cleanest looking node development, but who cares, right? I just kind of wanted to record my thoughts on it. I mean, I had plenty of trouble with this, especially this piece, which makes no sense. Like, in the... I'm gonna hate myself for doing this, but in the tutorial itself, it had this one... See, I don't even know why this happened. Maybe if anybody who ever watched this video at some point in time could, like, tell me why this issue was created. This is the original string of commands, if you will, that is supposed to generate the randomness of the room list, if you will. So we have this room list, we have the different types of rooms, if you will, that have been created with their different entrances and exit points. So this function is supposed to just get the selected exit points, which are the green arrows here. So it's at selected exit points, it's supposed to transform these and then spawn them somehow, right? And it's supposed to just work. But as you can see, for some unknown reason, there is a, oh my god, there is a massive scaling issue that just does not function correctly. I think it just crashed the program. No? Okay, let's stop that. So yeah, no clue why this happens. Nope. Break that. Okay. Split this pin. So, for some reason, I had to do this. And the funny thing is, so like, this is using ChatGPT, I think. And even then, ChatGPT got it wrong. Like, it was telling me to do this, like, get world transformation, make transformation, change the scaling output, and then, like, plug in the scaling output to, like, if I break this and then split this structure. It was, like, trying to tell me how to like, set these scaling outputs and then plug it into the scaling outputs off of the, like, different pin values and all this others. Didn't work. No clue why it didn't work, but apparently this works. I have no clue. If somebody ever watches this video and they understand this better than I do, what happened? What did I do wrong? Because I followed the steps, and it yeah, no, it just didn't work, which is kind of funny. So this is like the trials and tribulations of, like, using somebody else's code and still having to make adjustments on my own, because for some reason it doesn't want to function properly. So that was kind of cool. And also, like, this, the just to be able to spawn the start room. Like, I think if I break this, I'm gonna give myself a conniption fit if this doesn't work. So like, just to spawn the start platform, for some reason, again, everything laid out the way you see it now, perfectly fine. There wasn't any type of errors in creating this. Like, I spent an hour trying to figure out why this start string didn't work, and all I had to do was delete the spawn actor, put down the spawn actor, relink the spawn actor, resend what class it was pulling from, re-click the, and then it just worked. No clue why it didn't work in the first place. No clue why this doesn't work. I'm not an expert on it, but why do I have to do a location and a world transformation to then plug into a transform to then plug into the spawn transform? Why do I have to do that? This wasn't in the tutorial. It was just world transform to spawn transform. Bada bing, bada boom, done. And it just worked for the other guy. But for me, it just created an infinite scaling issue that didn't fix itself with no matter the different types of nodes that I put onto it. So it's kind of weird. I mean, I guess from a perspective, I should be pretty proud of myself that even like trying to, like, to be fair, ChatGPT even went into it and was like, okay, this kind of makes sense, and it like gave me different nodes to go ahead and play from. Some of them kind of worked, but I still had a partial scaling issue, and the only thing that worked was doing this. I have no idea why. I don't understand that. At least this function worked entirely, which was this. I guess we can watch this in real time. Whenever a room spawn happens and it's trying to like circle back in on itself, it just automatically deletes the room, and then it creates the spawn, and then it goes back again. Like, I thought this wasn't gonna work. This somehow works perfectly fine. Didn't have to change any of the script compile components for this. Oh, there's a really good example of this. So the script runtime is gonna reset this and start building anew. Why does this code work? You know, it's a conundrum, honestly. Yep, there it goes. Look, it works. It failed, and then it generated. Look at that. We got our spawn guy. Or gal. Doesn't matter. You know, we got our spawn. It works. That script works, so it doesn't like circle in on itself. Like, yeah, it's gonna fail, and then it's gonna regenerate. Like, that's awesome. Do I understand why I need this? Yeah, this makes perfect sense. You know, I have to run a checklist for overlapping rooms. Do I understand how this works entirely? Not really. Like, I get the general, like, I get the gist of what it's doing, which is kind of cool. It's crazy how much you have to get the system to recognize what's going on. It's definitely not a, like, yes and system. I mean, I guess it kind of is a yes and system, but there's so much more to it. I don't know. I'm rambling again. Like, could I replicate all of this if I needed to? The answer is no. It's just straight up no. I would need a guide. Again. I would have to fail at creating this again to understand how this all works. This entire process, I guess, is just going to be a bunch of failures, which is kind of fun. This, I don't even understand this. I broke this the other, just before I kind of started recording. So then I went back, and I don't even know how I'm supposed to fix this. But like, if we look at the wire view here, there's the this overlap box, which is essentially this string system to make it so that the boxes can spawn together, I guess. But apparently what I'm supposed to do is delete the geometry folder, and the master of this, I guess it's this one, it's not even this one. I'm not even looking at the right one. The master of this is not even supposed to have geometry in it. It's just supposed to be the overlap box, which is interesting. But for some reason, when I did exactly what the guy in that tutorial was showing me. Deleted the geometry, reset all the geometry folders within all of the different rooms. It broke everything. Like, this wouldn't generate anymore for some reason. No clue why. I'm gonna have to spend a couple hours figuring that out. Technically, I'm not even finished with it, because by deleting the geometry in the master room, I guess it allows me to go ahead and delete individual components here, so that way I can develop like hallways and probably stairs and better pathways. But didn't work. No clue why. I gotta figure that one out. That made no sense, but you know, I guess it's just kind of like the process of elimination at some point. Like, why? Okay, go back, fix. Why? Okay, go back, fix. Like this specifically was such a weird one. Technically everything is set to 0 on the plane. Like here, if I zoom in here, this is the start point of the plane, so this is 0. This is not on 0 100%. This is like in 0 and skewed off to the side, if you can see any of the actual location pieces. Because what this does is, with the generator, we have a close endpoint script, which basically says, okay, from the exit lists, for each loop that's going in, it's going to transform and spawn the dead end wall if there's nothing connected, essentially. So then it just spawns the wall into it. So this has a dead end wall in it, which I don't know if we can even see it. Yeah, there it is. We can I don't know why this is peeking out that much. Well, actually, hold on. Maybe if I can probably just put it down one. Nope. Oh no. Did I break it again? I think I broke it again. Oh, hey. Kind of worked. Almost. Wait, I could just bring it up one piece, compile that. Huh. Almost worked. Yeah, that's like a pixel off. That's not bad. Okay. But again, it's like these small things that make no sense from the mathematical standpoint. Technically, from a mathematical standpoint, that's not supposed to exist the way it is. But from a design standpoint, it has to. Why? No clue. If somebody could explain that to me from the math sense, that would be great. But I have no clue why that did that. Oh god, it's breaking because I can't figure out what's going on. So yeah, it's weird having to go through. Oh, that was kind of cool. Yeah, you kind of see how these rooms then get the. We can see it here. There's the dead end wall, and the dead end wall again. Yeah, it makes no sense whatsoever. But does it work? Yeah. How? No clue. I guess that's just kind of like game development, but that's what I had to do. It's like it's kind of interesting that even in the idea of a perfect system, because from the math point and the node point of the system, it's perfect. I mean, to whatever perfect extent is. Maybe there's a way that I could clean this up. Or maybe there's a better way of doing this. This is just how the guide told me to do it. There's no point within this spawn transformation that tells me that it's going to be offset by I think it was offset by 20 units or something like that. Like it was too far out and it was too high and it was a little too big. Yet the actual wall, this functioning wall, is just a copy paste of one of these units. How does that work? I have no clue. Like I just copied this unit, made it longer, and it's still I still had to manually fix everything. Like this unit is 1 by 6 by 2. This unit is 0.5 by 6.65 by 0.96. What? This is a 2-unit wide piece. That's a 0.96 wide piece. How does a and this is a box that is full of 0.2 size units. How does that work? And then what's even funnier is if we're actually looking at the scale transformation here, we can see that the scale is 111, but the scale of the wall is 333. What, it does not make mathematical sense. Yet for some reason, off of just changing the way that this is compiled into the editor, this works now. So I think it's the weird point of trying to understand where mathematically this is technically just wrong, and not being able to understand it because I don't get the ins and outs of this program. And then from a compiling standpoint, this just works. Like, all of a sudden this just works. And I mean, this is all randomly generated. Like, every single time I hit simulate, it's a completely new dungeon, which is freaking awesome. But for some reason, that just didn't want to function correctly. So I don't get it. You know, it doesn't make sense. But it works. So that's a thing, I guess. I don't know, these are just like the weird lamentations of what I have to go through from trying to figure this out. Like, here's the, like, oh, look at that, I'm a pixel off on this. Like, what is whatever room that is. So there's apparently a room. There it is. Look at that. It was this one. I moved it. This is a pixel off. Is it now a pixel off anymore? Nope. Okay, I compile. Should be fine now. There's probably better ways to do this. Or there's probably better ways to generate the rooms, I guess. I just don't know how to do it. It's going to be something I'm going to have to play with. Because obviously this isn't these aren't the end tiles. This is just the mock-up so that I can understand what I'm going to have to redo to then develop the actual tile set that I want. I guess it's a good starting point from like a gray box perspective to know that this functionally is supposed to work, but it just doesn't. So it's like, it's good that I guess I'm having these issues now, because when I go ahead and, I guess I'll just be copying the script essentially, or I should probably rewrite it. I should probably rewrite the script so that I get more practice in it when I actually create the new tile set that it's going to randomly generate. Does it make sense? No. Does it work? Yes. Why? No clue. Is there a debug list somewhere that I can see that'll tell me what's going on? Potentially. Do I know where to find that? Nope. If somebody knows where to find that and they can drop a comment on this, that would be great. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, it just works. In a weird sense that doesn't make any sense to me. How do game designers do this? These are such weird bugs to encounter that just they don't make mathematical sense. They don't make technical sense. But for some reason it just works now. Like, is this what game designers go through? I mean, they just look at something, they build it, they fix it on 2 different scales. They fix it on the like mathematical scale, and then they fix it on the physical scale, and then they just throw their hands up and go, it functions, and then just walk away. Because that's what it kind of feels like while trying to do this. Like, that's how I feel, which I don't feel like I should feel like that, but I mean, I you know, what do I know about game development? What do I know about coding or anything like that? Like, if this functionally works, I guess step away, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know, type of deal. I can't wait to try and figure out how because the next step of this is, 1, somehow fixing the master room and the overlap box geometry. 2, going on to the next portion of the tutorial, which is building levels, which is like a step up or a step down. I can't wait for that to break and for it to make absolutely no sense, but for some reason, after going through like the math and the generation, it's just gonna work. I don't know. It's a fun process. Yeah, I have no. These are just things I just don't understand as to why they're broken. But I mean, the system works, so you know, it ain't broke, don't fix it. it's just wild to me. I don't know. Random unfiltered thoughts of creating something and then again having no clue what I'm doing, just barely understanding the node system and what the guy is talking about enough to kind of debug it a little bit when it starts breaking, and then also having to use like ChatGPT to give me ideas that even their ideas don't even work. Like, I had to do this on my own. And then even then, I still don't understand why this works. Like, why does when it selects the endpoint of the room, why do I have to have a get world and a get transform to then make it transform to then spawn the transformation in the actor clause? Like, why do I have to do that? When the tutorial just says, select the endpoint, get the transform of the endpoint, have all of these values, just go to spawn transform. It didn't need to use a get world, it didn't need to use a make transform, but it just works. So why does that person's work? Why does his guide work and mine doesn't? No clue. But this apparently works. If somebody knows better than I why I had to do this or how I can fix this, because this doesn't make any sense to me, please let me know. Because like if I gosh, I really don't want to break this again. Is it the build timer? I think it's the build timer. I think if I break this, pull this down here, just link these two together, go down here, break this, hopefully I don't break my program, combine the structure pins, put this all in here, compile this, go into here, it is going to generate what the like what is this? How how does this even happen? Oh my gosh. Like, how does that happen? That doesn't make any sense. There is no, I don't have anything in here that changes the scaling. This is set to 1. This is all set to 1. Like, there is nothing within this that would say, oh hey, go ahead and create some like ridiculously random procedurally generated scale. Nothing. There's nothing that says that. And then why do I have to use a get world location? Like, that's the other weirdest thing too, right? Because if I break this and I do return value and then compile this, I think I'm gonna have a conniption fit. Why did that just work? That just generated? Like, no problem? This makes no sense. Why does this have to run this to get this? I mean, wait. Okay, hold on. Hey, debugging live. Like, if I break all of this and then do this, can I just do this? Will that compile it correctly? This wasn't working before. This doesn't make... I don't get it. Wait. This works now. Why does this work? I should probably save this. I'm like really hesitant to delete this at the moment. But what happens when I do this? That was set to 1. Yeah, why that? That doesn't make any sense. Why is it just this value that is causing that? But wait, now because that works, this just functionally works. This is what I don't understand. Okay, it works. Yay! I don't know why it works. I'm gonna keep these two off to the side here. No clue why that happened. Why do I have an infinite scaling value issue? Is it an X coordinating issue? Like, does Y just work? No, Y does not work. Y just creates an issue. What about Z? Nope, just breaks it. Oh gosh. Give me my... Stop that. No, but if I break this link... and just compile it... Oh no. Now it's fully broken. Why? Wait. This would... like, this doesn't make any sense. But if I... Question. If I replug this back in... and then hit compile, it generates. See, that makes no sense. This is just one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm glad I didn't get rid of these two note boxes. So it's kind of weird. I don't know, but it's fun. Like, these are just the weird, like, little conniption fits that I have to have in the development cycle to make the script function. Like, this is not technically how this is supposed to work, but for some reason, when I go ahead and change the order of events, this makes it work. Why? No clue. Am I gonna change it now? Absolutely not. So I guess I kind of started with the hardest thing to do. It seems about par for me at this point. It's not easy. This is very difficult. This is kind of like my first attempt at all of this. I think I spent like 10 or 12 hours just trying to do something from a tutorial video from a guy, Outpost Games. I mean, he did this in an hour. I have no clue what I'm doing. So it took me a while to try and figure out everything. But I mean, in the end, it ended up working, at least. I mean, this is kind of a basic functioning model, if you will. It's not by any means... I don't know, it looks pretty good. I've been kind of down on myself the entirety of trying to create this, because it's like, this was an actual pain to do. This was... there was so many things that I messed up trying to figure this out. You'd think from watching a tutorial it would be super simple, right? You do everything that the tutorial says, and then bada bing, bada boom, done, easy, everything functions the way it's supposed to, and you have no issues. Fucking wrong. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, those are kind of my unfiltered thoughts and some live debugging. I guess I'm not entirely sure of all the terminology, so please forgive me here. But shout out to Outpost Games, the link to his tutorial will be in the description below. I hope y'all enjoyed this and maybe learned something, had a good laugh watching me struggle, or this inspired you to try something new. Stay tuned for next time when I tackle the collision box issue and levels. I'm CrashLog, and you just watched a Chronicle.